It was a harrowing experience for residents of Isheri North, a boundary between Lagos and Ogun states, as their communities were submerged due to the release of water from Ogun Dam in Ogun State. On a yearly basis, residents are asked to relocate to higher grounds without a permanent solution in sight. While everything appears to be normal again, the situation demands holistic effort on the part of the affected states and the federal government to address this environmental challenge. Welcome. I am Esther Mopariola. Before we begin, let's look at some news reports. Following the demolition of illegal structures on drainage channels in Lekki, the Lagos Ministry of Environment has extended the same enforcement to violators in Ikoyi. While some property owners have begun removing their structures, others are yet to comply.
Monday morning, 30th of October, we start demolishing those fences to take our setback for the canal. Because we have had conversations with most of them, we chose to say, okay, after the stakeholders meeting, we do 2 meters on both sides. That will enable us to clean up the channel.
During their operations, the team also inspected Lagos-Badagry Expressway and found traders occupying the Blue Line Rail corridor. The traders were asked to leave the area to ensure public safety.
The infrastructure met the market there. So it's for us to now put a human face to the narrative between Lamata, between the environment, and between the market owners. They are building a road infrastructure with taxpayers' money. You can't trade on it.
The team also visited the Short Alaba Rago market, engaging with traders and urging them to conduct their business within the market premises.
We are trying to emphasize that it's not about the fine for government. The fine is just a consequence of what they have done. It's about keeping the environment very clean. We are not stereotyping anybody. We're just doing the right thing for the populace, for public good.
We promised the Lagos State government, we assure them that we are a law-abiding citizen and we will abide by every advice and the condition they give us.
The Lagos State government is unwavering in its commitment to environmental enforcement and public safety. Property owners and traders are urged to cooperate with the state's environmental regulations for the well-being of all residents. Water plays a vital role in our society, serving as a fundamental resource for domestic use, agriculture, hydroelectric power generation, and navigation. Yet, it remains a finite resource subject to urgent and conflicting demands. This conference, organized by the Nigeria Association of Hydrological Services, aims to address the complex challenges related to water resource management within the environment and society.
Let us remember that we are stewards of a precious resource. Let us commit to responsible management, to the equitable distribution of water, and to the preservation of ecosystems that rely on it.
Climate change is causing shifts in rainfall patterns, resulting in droughts and floods that pose serious threats to communities and livelihoods. To counter these impacts, adaptation measures such as water conservation, development of resilient infrastructure, and the adoption of climate-resilient agricultural practices are essential.
Water should not be wasted. We should only use what we need, not in excess, because it takes a lot of effort, technologically and financially, to purify water and to get a bottle of water that is pure or potable.
It's expected that the two state government, Ogun State and Lagos State, as well as the federal, will bring up the hydraulic infrastructure development, maybe getting from a design made from a study of all these floodplain mapping of the downstream of Ogun River in order to put in place some hydraulic infrastructure that will mitigate or minimize the flood flow.
The relationship between water, society and the environment underscores the need for responsible water management. It also highlights the recognition that the well-being of society and the health of the environment are deeply linked when it comes to managing our water resources. In Nigeria, climate change brings about challenges like droughts and floods. These often lead to crop failures, livestock losses, and reduced food production, ultimately affecting food availability. Amid these concerns, key players in the agricultural sector have gathered to examine these pressing issues and work together to find practical solutions.
We are looking forward to see how they can cushion the support for funding of how they take their goods from the farm to the market, because that is the only way we can be able to support these small-scale farmers. We're also looking at how can we grow more foods. How can we make sure that we are talking about organic farming, not inorganic, so that the issue of health-related issue, infection, disease will not continue to be rampant in communities.
Nigeria should begin, as a matter of urgency, think about how to diversify urgently with immediate speed to agriculture as a means of sustainability. It's going to improve our GDP, it's going to have a sustainable environment, we're not going to have any pollution, and we'll be able to feed ourselves and feed the country.
Experts say the most effective responses to climate change and food security challenges come from the experiences and actions of individuals living in frontline communities who directly feel its impacts.
The key strategy to ensuring that there is food security in the context of climate change is two. One, you must deliberately craft policies that understand that the crisis we have is an existential crisis and it's a climate change crisis. Second, must take the people at every step of that journey, because in reality, they know more than you.
Whether we are doing anything, our budgeting process, our development process, our expenditure, our revenue development process, everything, we must build in the issues of climate change into it.
And follow the means.
This meeting underscores that the fight against climate change and the quest for food security is in the hands of those who bear the brunt of these challenges. The knowledge and actions of local communities are invaluable in this collective effort. Outside the estate, everything seems fine. But a few steps in, the situation takes a different turn. Many properties are now submerged by the rising waters near the Ogun River. This was a main passageway now overtaken by water released from Ogun Dam in Ogun State. Residents here have been sacked from their homes, prompting them to take shelter in hotels or with family as the situation remains unpleasant.
2019, I spent 2 months in the hotel, running up to 500,000 naira. Where do I get such money now at this present economy? I can't go to resettlement to do what? Government will forget you there. Are we IDP? Are we fighting war? No. This is our entitlement. We belong to this country. We belong to this state. We are paying rents. We are paying tenement rents. They should listen to us, come to our aids. We are not animals. Even animals are being taken care of.
The only alternative for transportation is canoes, which are insufficient to serve the entire community. Many patiently wait for their turn to leave their waterlogged homes or wade through the floods with their belongings on their heads.
There's something at the junction there. One road.
This estate, for instance, they are retirees, people who have served their fatherland. They shouldn't be put through this. No wonder people are just like, hey, what's the use? These are retirees. A lot of them are in their late 60s, early 70s. They have done their bit. This is their rest time. You don't put them through this. There's a speculation that they do this, they are motivated majorly for ecological fundings. If that is true, then this is criminal.
Others who have yet to leave are putting in every effort to keep the water at bay. Mr. Ajibade spends approximately 10,000 naira, which is around $12 daily, just to pump flood waters out of his home.
Everybody in this environment is so bitter with the entire Ogun State government. We are bitter with federal government that this is a recurring thing on a yearly basis. For how many years now that we could not find a solution to a simple issue to allow people to stay and stay comfortably? What is the essence of government, for God's sake, if you cannot protect the inhabitants of the people? We all voted thinking that there was going to be a change, and this is the change we have.
He says so. He said he has
The river that overflows East Bank is that tiny river over there. We know that this is a drainage basin. The government allocated this drainage basin. But what I think that can be done is those things that were identified in the Environmental Impact Assessment, the EIA, the government should look into them. Another thing that can be done as a palliative or maybe as a permanent solution is to build a levee down to this place. When there is a good levee, it will be able to hold the water.
The government should come and take care of this canal. Wherever this water is coming out from, they have the capacity, they have the tenacity to do something that will ease off this punishment. I call it punishment because they know what to do.
In the meantime, the Lagos State government revealed it is working with Ogun River Basin Authority to manage the release of water from the dam. It is also working on improving its flood prediction and early warning systems.
Some areas are wetlands. Otherwise, people should not be living on wetland. It's the art's truth. Let us speak it. You should not build on a wetland. But if we choose to enforce the way it should be enforced, we shall evacuate them. But the human side of it is what we are doing, putting a face to it. So, okay, you know what? Leave this area because this water level is rising.
Right now, the Lagos government governor has approved that we do a study of the entire basin. So the study will tell us, okay, what's the volume of water in this entire basin between Lagos and Ogun State. So once the study is done, it will delineate what needs to be done, land that's available, and the necessary infrastructures to provide.
This effort is coupled with persistent appeals to residents, urging them to abstain from building on wetlands and water channels, as well as discouraging indiscriminate waste disposal.
Tell people to stop blocking the drainage paths. It makes no sense where you put your dirt and your waste into a canal. Canals are meant for water, not for your waste. This is Lagos. It's not a jungle. And that's why you see us at times coming very hard. That we can't continue on this path. We'll self-destruct.
Other top government officials, including the Ogun State Governor Dakwa Abiodun, also paid a visit to the state for an on-the-spot assessment. They also assured residents that the federal government will work with the state in finding a solution to the problem.
I can say that under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu,
And with the full support of our governor, the governor of Ogun State, we will find a permanent solution to this problem. Environmental challenges are here with us for a long time, and it therefore demands on us to be more environmentally responsible.
We are providing solutions for flooding with the entire Nigeria, not only in Ogun State. We have gone to other states and we have visited Ogun now, and we have seen what has happened and has been happening. We are believing that by the grace of God, a solution has come.
Some buildings may have to give way so that the drainages can become outfalls where water can fall into. Again, like the minister said, we're going to now have a committee of us as government and yourselves, and also the federal government, so that you also have representatives in that committee that is taking a decision on what we're going to be doing here.
In the meantime, it is worth noting that the water levels have subsided, allowing residents to return to their homes. However, resolving this environmental challenge demands more than just verbal commitments, penalties, and warnings. It requires strict adherence to town planning rules and the establishment of resilient infrastructure to adapt to this unique situation. Green Angle returns in just a moment. Stay with us. Despite the Adamawa State government's ban on tree felling for domestic use 4 months ago, the practice continues to thrive as a profitable business. In response to this, the price of charcoal has surged from 1,500 naira to 6,000 naira, reflecting the government's efforts to enforce the law.
The activities of tree merchants have seriously depleted forests, and the wood used in cooking normally produces carbon dioxide, which has been linked to climate change. The Adamawa State is one of the states of the Federation that has a law against environment pollution and encroachment, as well as a committee to monitor the ban after the State Assembly enacted it. Despite the law put in place by Governor Amadou Fintiri, this has not stopped the activities of timber merchants. These three vehicles, for example, were arrested for conveying charcoal and firewood products now deemed a threat to the state ecosystem.
Illegal cutting down of trees for the purpose of charcoal making is being banned from Adamawa State. So we are making every effort to make sure that this pronouncement is being put to order, and then it's here to stay.
But the ban on charcoal and firewood is having an adverse effect on the price of cooked food like roasted fish and meat. Some food vendors shared their challenges with TVC News.
Okay, there is no lies because everything is too cost now. As we are selling this fish, we are just managed because of everything is cost, even charcoal, even the fish, because of transportation, we are just suffering and nothing move now, no market again.
They want the government to assist them with an alternative means to generate light for cooking, as they don't have resources to purchase gas for cooking.
Before we are buying charcoal 2,000 per bag, 2,500, and now charcoal don't reach 6,500. We are calling government, let them help us because of our business to do something for us.
The State Commissioner for Environment spoke on the plan put in place by Governor Amadou Fintiri to protect the environment.
Because recently, last year, Adamawa State have experienced a climate change, as you know. You can see we have experienced a sandstorm here in Adamawa State. The lasted for more around 28 minutes or so, which is a very is showing a negative effect to our people. It's not a thing that it can happen we will say today or tomorrow, but actually if we have somebody that will say stop from today, just like saying that history will forgive for taking wrong decisions, but that history will never forgive for not taking decisions at all. And we want to encourage our people to courageously learn to accept where they get wrong yesterday. It's just like you taking a medicine for your ailment and then you say, no, the medicine is bitter. No, you can't. You must consider taking the bitterness for you to get better. So this is why we have a governor that will put a stamp on the ground and says no.
The state government is yet to put in place an alternative to wood energy, as many residents both in urban and rural communities still depend on felling of trees for survival.
After saying no, then we said, okay, fine. Well, what are we going to do then? Okay, we introduced the substitute of this charcoal. There we went on doing some research and then finding out a solution to that. And then we understand that we have briquettes here, which these are the briquettes, and then these are the starters. And then we collaborate with the United Nations that give us who are very firm and on cutting down of trees. They introduced to us a new stuff and then a new gadget that we can train our women in their localities to come up about getting their food done, but not using the charcoal at all. Some research even shows that if a woman cook with the firewoods and then or sort of this charcoal, it's like that woman smoke 36 packs of cigarettes at once, which is very, very dangerous to our body and dangerous to our women as well. So the briquettes are here. We teach plenty of our women how to make the briquettes. The making of briquettes is very simple. Is a raw material that we usually throw out without knowing that these are the things that we can regenerate it and then reproduce it and then make it habitable into our environment and then make it very friendly for our usage. The briquettes are here, and then we have trained a lot of women how to make the briquettes, and then the training are still ongoing. And then if you parboil your rice half done, you can put it here, and then it will cook itself with this. And then this one too is being brought from the United Nations. You can see they tag it as Save 80.
Yes, sir.
They can save 80% of our trees. Yes, and then you can see it being numbered.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's approved from the United Nations. Yeah. So these are the pots that they use, and you can see it. It's this is where you put the briquettes inside.
Okay.
So no smoke, no anything. You can cook this in your room as well.
A medical doctor in the state shares the adverse effects of wood smoke and urges residents to change their source of cooking. He explains that findings show that charcoal production and usage are linked with specific adverse health outcomes such as respiratory diseases, cardiorespiratory and neurological diseases, cancer, DNA damage, carbon monoxide poisoning, physical injury, sick house syndrome, unintentional weight loss and body mass index reduction, increase in blood pressure and co-death.
The health implication of using charcoal and firewood are actually enormous. It is both, you could actually say it is both on the individual and even on the society, the effects. Like for instance, for you to be able to get the charcoal and the firewood, you actually will have to go and cut down most of those trees, and then when you deforestate after some time, you won't actually have most of those particular trees to hold the ground. So most times you actually have erosion, and then that also leads to maybe it's now washed away. In fact, it can even cause flood disasters in some particular areas.
The law banning the felling of trees for domestic purposes in Adamawa State is proving difficult to enforce, and this will remain a challenge so long as the residents do not have a cheap alternative source of cooking.
That's about it on this week's edition of Green Angle. Until I come your way next time, remember, together we can build a sustainable world. I am Esther Mokwariola. Bye for now.